Alright, welcome to our next match. DRG versus Oliveira. A 1-1 puts both teams onto a revival. A 2-0 means we finally get a player to stay on, and the other team would be on last life territory. Let's see what we get as we set this up. We get this underway. Oliveira coming out as our Terran player from Dragon Kaizi Gaming. So important matchup. Hello, Ali. Hi. You look very happy. Hello. You okay? What you up to? Ali just came in to say hi and have a good time. And she's disappeared again. Like I said, DRG is very, very good in my eyes when it comes to this matchup. I really expect DRG to... I really do. I expect DRG to kind of play Lingbane heavy, probably into mutas even. It's his best style. I still think it is at this point in time as well. And he's just done well with it in recent history, so... would not blame him for going into a bit of that. On a map like Ancient to start off with, I feel like it's a great map for it as well. It's sizable, you can be active with the mutas on it. I feel like you can do a lot on it in general, so... guess we'll see what will happen. Paper, heading down to the bottom left-hand corner, just going to see a couple queens and a few zerglings all on the way up. And obviously pretty standard to start out with. We're waiting to see if Oliveira will just play 3CC. It is possible Oliveira plays something a little bit more aggressive given the map. You know, the fact it's Ancient, maybe you do something a little bit quirky, a little bit funky that gives you like that chance to catch your opponent that little bit off guard, for example. Could be a real possibility, so definitely some options here as to how this can go. Maybe gets pushed out the side for the moment as we just have that CC building up in the main base. And this underway. Queen comes forward. Reaper going to take a few more shots. Our Ling's still just wandering by a little bit. Our Ling speed coming up. Our Queen, our Overlord, all continuing by for just a few more moments, and just seeing our factory on the way up as well. A couple more Hellions are also producing here. So I'm going to still continue to produce, so still just bringing this up as best as possible as our grenade goes down. The Queen's going to get bopped about just a little bit. And we do just have our Hellions moving onto the map again. Pretty standard with the 3CC. Just play macro for the moment. No surprises really packed into this just yet from Oliveira. That doesn't mean there can't necessarily be something kind of interesting coming up a bit further down the line still. There's perhaps a possibility as our Lings come through, and a couple of SCVs will get chased just a little bit there. So just got to be a little careful. Keep those Hellions defending and kind of go from there for the moment. One single Marine starts to nibble at that Overlord. As a couple of Hellions come through, they're going to take a Zergling out the equation as well. A Hellion still around in the center. Reaper chilling out with them for a few moments. And there is the Infernal Pre-Igniter. Second factory from Oliveira is going to be the little bit of a switch up, his way of playing this a little bit differently. Is this going to follow up into pure mech? No, there's Stimpak. You know, it's one of those builds where you see Blue Flame and everyone's like, he's playing mech, and every time I'm like, guys, there's a good chance he plays bio, and then for a while this was very true. Then there was a while that they did this and they only played mech. And then I remember I was casting an event at some point. I can't remember who I was co-casting with. I was like, oh, I think they're going to go bio after this. And they're like, really? You can go bio after this? That's ridiculous. I was like, no, I honestly, I promise you. And then they were like, "Whoa, Wardy, you're so smart." I'm like, I really don't feel very smart. I really felt like this was the way to play this build. You know, more so than anything else. Doesn't really want to attack because it would reveal Blue Flame a little bit ahead of time. But yeah, I was like, I don't feel very smart. I feel like this was just the meta. I'm just kind of calling the meta out, but yeah, I'll take the compliment, I guess. Like I said, this is going to be Blue Flame into Stim this time here from Oliveira. He's not going to find access. Full Evo Chamber wall from DRG to stop the natural from being in too much trouble. Couple Evos coming up. Roach Roaring is coming out. Aliens come back around on this direction and trying to see just if there's an access point they can take advantage of. They will fight a few of the Lings here, but again, so far, Oliveira not finding much off this opening. DRG's getting a Roach Roaring, but he's also getting a Spire. And the fact he can go into this so quickly because he's taken no damage and he didn't even have to make that many units, pretty incredible, especially if he doesn't build roaches and he can go straight into a chunk of mutas. It's going to be very scary as the Marine count's going to be quite low from Oliveira compared to the usual. So that could be actually really, really interesting as we do see these Hellions coming in, starting to work their way through that hatchery to start us off. 1-1 upgrades, combat shield all coming up. A couple crew tumors will go down. We do see our combat shield, like I say, on the way. And as those upgrades come in, we will have a little bit more of an opportunity, perhaps, as Oliveira to get aggressive and to really break out into a couple of fights here. Sorry, guys, the clean feed lags a little bit here and there, so I'll give you guys, just letting you guys that that's kind of on the clean feed. It's not on you, just in case you're wondering what's going on. Sometimes the clean feed just has a couple of connection issues, but in general, this has been pretty smooth sailing today, so it's pretty nice. We take those. We take those. Thing that's coming up, and do you see our feelings still coming through? The Mutalisks about halfway done for the moment. We got 1-1 melee upgrades starting out as well. Still seeing the 1-1 and the combat shield come through on the side of Oliveira. The Lings will begin to move out, and again, there's that Baneling speed coming up at the moment as well. So bringing that Bane speed up, getting that going. Getting this fully underway. As our mutas continue to join up in the center, and we're going to see what sort of trouble they can do as Oliveira pushing that top left-hand side. He's going to get rid of the hatchery that's there. DRG going to be forced to expand bottom right instead, but as the mutas show up, they're not really responding to it at all just yet, so they are going to start to deal a pretty decent chunk of damage just to begin with. So that is not a bad starting point. As we do see the mutas continue through, a few more SCVs still dropping. I mean, it's good because it's obviously going to force Oliveira to be a little bit more defensive as well, a little bit more respectful to these mutas, and a little bit more, I guess a little bit more just, yeah, like I say, defensive. You just got to stay home a lot more than being able to move out onto the map and doing a whole bunch of stuff. So it definitely works in your favor. As DRG as well, it's an added effect of those mutas. As he continues into melee upgrades, he continues into flyer attacks. You're actually going to see mech weapons already on the way from Oliveira too, so he's going to respect that. He can really get a lot of value from upgrading these Thors, especially if he expects DRG to keep making mutas, which is not a bad bet. DRG generally does love his Mutalisks, right? So, yeah, I think that's a good bet to make, and for the moment, it looks as though it's going to pay out for him. Widowmine's going to unburrow. A few Marines going to go to the side. Going to grab an Overlord. Fighters setting up. Hellbats, the siege tank. Everything together. Going to move around a little bit here as we do see our T2 upgrade starting up. The drilling claws also just on the way through. Put a Mines Thrower up, couple of Banes in the front. Start taking some damage. Our Mutiling Bane gonna go for a little bit of a dive forward. In we go. Baneling's connecting big time, but everything feels very clumped up. However, DRG seems to have enough left over to keep going. This is terrifying for the Terran player because now if there's mutas here, it's very hard to regain control with reinforcements. There's a counter-attack happening, so DRG has to deal with that, but also it's the kind of thing which you probably deal with pretty easily, and then you're still doing serious damage on the other side. I think DRG likes this a lot. The third base lifted. A load of work is already missing for Oliveira. And DRG is just up 60, 50, 60 supply at the moment. Looking very good so far in this. go. DRG going to dive forward again. A couple of these blue flame hellbats actually still pretty useful. Actually working pretty nicely against the Lings to tank a little bit, but they won't do so hot against the Banelings. Bermuda's trying to stay out of reach of the Thor, which is now going to be the target. Can we micro that back in the medevac? Yes, we can, but we're still losing control of everything else. The third tries to come back into place, but the units are here to fight and deny it once again. Banes will bust down those SCVs and just ensure that this mining will be completely denied. The Thor again going to come in to try and save the day, but it has so much work cut out for itself. It's seemingly a bit unrealistic to expect it to do enough. And Oliveira struggling around 120 supply. He's to try and find a way out and up from there, but it's just not happening yet. And the Vax, a few Thors gathering up, a few Banelands going to morph into the center. Banelands will continue to morph in. As you just see, the Muta's going to find a siege tank over here. Again, DRG with the momentum is not going to let it up. He's even on his way to Hive with his 2-2 upgrade, so he's, you know, when you see a Lingbane Muta player kind of go into Hive immediately, that's just a very comfortable position. Usually you get stuck on Lingbane Muta a bit and you're forced to play on it for a little while longer. That is just absolutely not the case here in the slightest. Let's just see, creep spread still pushing out and about on the map. Match top left as well. I mean, DRG just has bases for days. Absolutely no issues for him in that regard. DRG just takes a few moments to play cleanup here and there, but again, we can kind of see that this game is really not looking pretty for the Pua Terran play. Oliveira is not in a great spot. He is absolutely... I mean, recovering is hard to say as well, as these Mutas can dive on this missile turret, and then this mineral line is just exposed. More CVs will drop down, and we are going to... I mean, I guess the supply is coming up from Oliveira, and a higher supply should give him a better go at maybe taking a good fight against the Lingbane Muta army. I'm just worried that it's still not quite going to be enough. First, Widowmine there does decently, but this planetary going down would be pretty expensive for the Terran player, because now you just don't have the backup economy. I actually like what DRG did. He focused the planetary with the Mutas. He didn't use his Banelings on it too much, so he had Banelings to chase after the bio on the follow-up. He's already set off the Widow Mines over here as well, and he's already got himself, again, another supply lead. So DRG just finding the trades before Oliveira has enough set up. Looking very good for him in general right now, and it does seem as though, again, I mean, it felt like this for a little while. It feels like we're just doubling down on the idea that DRG is looking very good here in this game. Number 1. And he's going to put Dragon Kaizi onto catch-up position again. ABYDOS really bringing it to Dragon Kaizi today. A lot of people really felt like this Dragon Kaizi roster was extremely good. Current world champion, Dark and Hero, absolute predators of the Korean scene. But they are getting halted up by an ABYDOS squadron at the moment. Fire will go in after the spine crawl. It will get knocked down. A few Mutas will come across. A Marine or two. The Marauders will get picked away at. He's coming over. Ling's still chasing. Medevac's going to pull back a little bit. Bioforce will continue to stand and fight. Just split back in general here, and just going to be seeing the Bane still crashing through. Oliveira's face sort of says, yeah, I really am kind of just dead this time around. There's not much else I can do in this situation. I think he's very, very right. I don't think there's anything else he can really do in this situation. This is one which is just too far gone. You can micro all you like. If you just don't have the unit count, it ain't going to matter. And DRG takes the first game. Big win. Big start for ABYDOS. DRG just nodding along. DRG's top left, Oliveira's bottom right. Dragon Kaizi looking to avoid falling behind here. If Oliveira can tie this series up, it has been a day full of 1-1 scorelines. Will DRG be the one to break the mold when it comes to that? Oliveira, low ground depot, low ground barracks. He's going to go for the Reaper opening. Bit of a different way for him to approach this game. Buri, thank you so much for the 40-month resub. Welcome back. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the stream today, guys. I appreciate you all being here. Thanks for joining us. Again, I appreciate this in live games, and a lot of you guys might have, some people will have seen this already, but it's one of those weeks where as we just get back into action, it's a little bit slow going, so we just got to take some stuff that I missed and make the most of it again from here on out. We're going to have a lot more games coming live, a lot of big tournaments coming up in the near future. First Reaper is on the way out here from Oliveira, looking to try and see what he can do. Link's coming across, Reaper beginning to take just a little bit of damage. As you're going to see the Link's coming over, Reaper will continue to take a few shots here. Some damage done. Obviously, these Reapers can control the early game pretty neatly, and that seems to be the initial part of the plan. Is now a Reaper, though, needs to be careful. Don't want to lose the Reapers, of course. That will take away some of your initial control that you've invested into. You do not want that to happen, so trying to stay clear of that disaster. For the moment, Oliveira is going to be okay, but it's okay. Gets the drones, denies the third hatch for a while longer, too. When you're only on 2 racks, Reaper, it's obviously very nice to delay that third hatch, because it's something you can do guaranteed a lot of the time with the 3 hatch, but with the 2 hatch, not really so much mostly. Queen comes about, Reaper is going to take some shots. Yo, Organaut, thank you so much for the 2-month resub on the Prime. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. Hope you're doing well. Cheers for the streams. Thank you so much for watching, man, and supporting. Thank you. Appreciate you all being here. It's always scary when, again, obviously I didn't stream for a whole bunch of time. It's always scary to then, try and come back to streaming, but you guys make it nice and easy, honestly. Yeah, you guys just rock. You guys are so cool. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the love lately. Like I say, super excited to just be back and just casting and doing loads of games and stuff like that. Just in general, should be really a ton of fun. Liberator continues to come out. Just going to see how Reaper Hellion continues through, and just going to be seeing units in general gathering up with the barracks now getting the stim ready. I'm going to see a little bit of Hellion Liberator, and then obviously with Fast Marines and stim behind it. Let's see where else we're going to go. Sorry guys, bless me, having a little sneezing fit. My apologies, give me a sec. Oh. Okay, we survived. And DRG's going to see everything coming. He's going to see the Liberator off over to the side, and just getting pretty good info in general to start out with there, so obviously make some decent decisions from that. Getting a Spore Crawler up over on the edge as well, so that gets going. Let's see another hatchery out on the low ground. Liberator comes through, going to start nibbling at the Overlord. And our Queens. So just join them together as well. Lib going to go after the Overlord once again. So going to continue to ping our way through this for a little while. Obviously not feeling a chance to go siege up anywhere. That preemptive Spore Crawler placement from DRG is going to be nice to help deny that. So It's going to be a big part of the reason why he feels so safe at the moment. 1-1 upgrades and combat shield is all on the way up. Just going to see this all coming through. And there's a few Marines come out, a few Lings go down. All drop starts to do pretty decently in terms of, again, just a little bit of damage pushed out. A single Ling comes in, going after some of these SCVs. Marines now dropping over here to aim for the hatchery a little bit, so try and get something on that one as well. Gonna get one Queen, gonna make it 2. He's coming across, Liberated Sieges, drone will go down. Just gonna be seen. Oh no! DRG's drones pulled away, but then still stacked up. How do Terrans not find more damage in these scenarios? How often do we see like stacked drones and it's only like 7 kills? I felt like it should have been 20. Somehow that was not as disastrous as it maybe should have been. Liberated trying to harass at the same time as the Marines in the main base causing trouble as well. Oliveira getting some momentum and putting himself into a grand position to, well, again, tie up this series and keep the 1-1 streak going. It's definitely gone well for him. There's a couple of benefits from DRG, one of them being the upgrade advantage. He's 1-1 against 0-0 currently. That's an advantage he will maintain. We're heading into 2-2 melee upgrades as well. Slow that on the way out as we do get the burrow coming through too. So he's going to be able to burrow some banelings around the map and get some action with that coming into play as well. So just a lot going on for DRG. Oh, it's a good run by. Gets into the natural. There's no wall on the high ground either. So this is going to be SCVs, a tank, reinforcements in general. This is a huge run by. There's a drop to deal with on the other side, but now is Oliveira going to be paying attention? The Banes start to connect, and they will begin to clean up. A few more SCVs going down. We've already done well, honestly, just against the army here, I would say. It's going to be seeing our Link still coming by. He's going to go wrap around the siege tank. Armory is still taking some extra damage, probably going down very soon. That's going to deny the starting of +2 attack because the Armory is now down. And we are losing so many more SCVs. This run-by has been more than just huge. It's been absolutely game-changing. I mean, what a run-by. It started off as like, okay, we're going to lose like 10 SCVs, maybe a couple units. I was like, that's already amazing. To get 25 workers out of this, now no +2 attack can start when you're already behind on upgrades as Oliveira. That's going to be even more painful. This is going to absolutely suck. This is just going to be absolutely bleeding brutal. Quite frankly, as we do see our DRG infestation pit on the way, his 2-2 melee upgrades are about to finish, so every fight for him is about to be that much better. That's going to be a pretty big deal in these next few moments, no doubt about it. Spore getting a few shots off. Medevac's taking some damage. Queen will fire up some shots. As we got our Zerglings coming through, going to knock that Queen down pretty quickly. It's going to be seeing our Lings continue to try and come through there. The Marines will be actually pretty good defensively, though. They will hold the wall, and they will not let those Zerglings in without a free pass. So, the Marines is going to get a kill or two as well, just trying to get a little bit more out of this. And it's going to be seeing our Marines coming around to try and aim for this hatchery. Spore Crawler taking some shots as well. That will also be going down here. Spore Crawler knocks down the Liberated. It's just going to take that out pretty much straight away. Well, DRG off that run by, I really feel like put himself back into a position. I do feel like before then Oliveira was doing pretty well, so it's maybe not kind of DRG just winning straight up off the back of that run by, but it's definitely a better scenario than it was. He just found some Banelings, but some other Banelings are going to bounce back right there. There's now Ling Bane of DRG comes around the left side, and uh-oh, we're going to commit through onto this. Banes are coming forward, a few on the right-hand side as well, and crashing by onto a lot of these Marines. SCV is going down as well. Bunker is going to be taking some shots. As we break through, 9 workers go down. DRG getting a good little leap onto the army of Oliveira right there. That's a really good little jump onto that army. As now a few more Banes come up, a whole bunch more Lings come through, Adrenal Glands on the way. Oliveira needs to stabilize again. It's not over for Dragon Kaizi if he loses this, but it does put the pressure on, because if you lose this, the next player up has to 2-0 DRG. Marines over here going to get some target fire going, but it's not quite going to be enough to keep up the momentum in this, and that will just be a lift and get the hell out of there for the moment as RCC lifts up and goes up elsewhere. One medevac around the left-hand side, a few Marines in that, going to try and see where it can go. As our units of Oliveira will continue to move through the center. This is going to grab a couple of overlords, DRG. Still not maybe finding any great moments recently. Like, it definitely feels as though this has slowed down a little bit in favor of his opponent. Tank sieging, army setting up. This army of DRG going to try and come down this left-hand side. He's going to try and get a catch on units here. Is this enough? Pure Lings running in initially. The Banelings are yet to come. There's a lot of Marines that are just not healed up at all. The tanks get absolutely melted. DRG overruns this force convincingly with these Lings that are going to now just flood into a mineral line. Oliveira's facial expression sort of suggests that he might be out of here very shortly. He does not have the reinforcements to deal with this. The Lings have just been unstoppable. Oliveira hands off the keyboard. DRG is going to get the 2-0, and Dragon Kaizi Gaming are going to be on their absolute last life, while ABYDOS will take the advantage in this WTL playoff matchup. Lings and Banelings continue to flood down south. Going to get a surround here on this planetary. These few Banes coming through. SCV's in a bit of trouble. But yeah, I mean, this game is over. To this point, Oliveira has nothing to really try and do. He makes a few more units. He starts to figure out in what way he's going to type GG's, but there's pretty much only one outcome of this game at this point, is DRG is going to get the 2-0. And again, that puts the pressure on whoever gets revived here from Dragon Kaizi, because whoever gets revived must 2-0 DRG, otherwise their season of WTL is over. GG, says Oliveira. Obviously, we kind of just waiting on that one. We kind of knew that that was coming. As DRG in the bottom right-hand corner, our blue Zerg player from ABYDOS. This is DRG. Up against the red Protoss in the top left from Dragon Kaizi Gaming, Hero. Well, I've laid it out for you guys a couple times. Hero just must win 2-0. That's the situation right now. A single map for DRG in this series. This matchup is dunzoed. Let's see what happens on Babylon as we start this one out. Thanks for joining us today. In case this is the last game, just a quick thank you for joining us. Again, I'll be back to cast the other matches tomorrow. If it's not the last match, and obviously we still have more today. I just take the chance because people actually listen at the start of games and stuff instead of just tuning out immediately. So just a shout out that I'll be obviously live again tomorrow. If you do enjoy and want to catch more, make sure you hit the follow button. And if you're really enjoying, you can of course as well head on over to the subscription button and subscribe and support the channel in that way. Helps us out a whole bunch, always appreciated. Allows us to keep on sitting around and casting StarCraft 2 for you guys. So do check that out if you would be so generous. Otherwise, we are ready to rumble into this first game of DRG and Hero. What do we expect between these two? I don't even really know. I don't think DRG's ZVP is an amazing matchup for him. I usually feel like DRG looks a little bit lost in this matchup. Can't quite kind of get his footing or anything. I feel like he usually does struggle here, but let's see what happens before we create judgment. Thank you so much, Pug Papa, for the 20-month resub on the Prime. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Much appreciated. On the way over on the right-hand side, Stargate is building up. Ling speed coming through. A couple queens, couple lings, a drone, all producing. They got a couple drones even. As DRG gets those up and operational, so bringing those out. Oracle's going to start up, that's going to Chrono Boost and head down the bottom right. Warp Gate is on the way to begin with here, as Adept just going to poke around on the hatchery. Adept going to try and shade across, a couple Lings are going to be there. The Adept will back it up. Just going to go hide away for a few moments as we continue to get set up a little bit. Link Speed coming through, Oracle coming out, the Adept is coming in. Warp Gate is still producing here about halfway through as well. Adept still kind of wandering around in the center of the map. Just going to be seeing the Oracle and the Warp Gate all getting going. And as the Nexus coming through as well, so just bringing that up. And getting a few things underway here as we have a few Lings is going to poke across, going to try and nibble at that Nexus a little bit. Standard stuff from Hero, just multiple Oracles. Sometimes he even goes into a few more Oracles than this as well, right? This is not a rarity for Hero. Looking to put that pressure on is a couple of Oracles looping around. A drone becomes a Spore Crawler for a couple of moments. It's actually going to be a kill, not a cancel, so it's actually a little bit more expensive than it should have been for DRG. This is now essentially 4 drones plus the money spent on a Spore. Actually does hurt a little bit. It does add up, so like I say, a little bit painful there. We so nearly finished that Evo chamber as well. Holy goodness, DRG is not having a clean early game, guys. Well, it's got to give you a bit of confidence if you're Hero or just a Dragon Kaizi fan, because that is... obviously, he didn't finish the Evo chamber, but boy, was he close to finishing the Evo chamber, and that alone is a little bit costly, I would say. Things coming up, Depths will take some damage. Just going to be seeing that Queens continue to fight, Depths continue to take some shots, and it's going to be a little bit of a back away. Oracles continue to gather together. We're going to get over there. Oracle getting pushed back. Blinking +1 coming through. Going to get Lings onto the Super Battery. That's going to get a cancel. That's actually pretty nice, as now these units are in a little bit of trouble. So Hero... Okay, this is problematic, because if he doesn't have the units to kind of fight this, these probes are then going to be dying, and Hero's actually taking a lot of damage. Across the map, the Adepts are doing nothing at all as they just shade into a group of Queens. The Oracle shows up to defend, but that's 8 probes down. DRG getting a good little counterattack there for a couple of moments. Doing very well for himself in that moment, so yeah, that actually works out very nicely. Let's just have, from this point, well, Blinking +1 finishing, so Hero will become the aggressor next to gain. DRG will take a few moments to set up, although building Overlords, Ling's on the way out. He already has a lot of OVs. Is he really just setting up to like spam units and not look back? It's a possibility. Grab an Overlord kill here. Overseer cancelled. Now a few drones on the way from DRG. Could have probably droned before the more recent round of Zerglings. He's going to go back into Lings again now as melee upgrade does start. So it looks as though he's going to play pretty Ling heavy throughout this. Stalkers working down through the center. A few more Stalkers warp in beneath the prism. And that up and running here as we go. That's even coming up as DRG continues to expend or tech up himself into this game. Stalker's going to look for the hatchery kill. Well, they're going to get surrounded. They will have Blink into the deeper corner. Now they can Prism Micro as well. He is still obviously in a fairly committed position though, so this might not be the prettiest of scenarios as we blink up to the high ground. DRG having to deal with this. Now Hero is just going to drop the recall to get out of here without too many more problems. Charge behind this, going to continue to go double forge upgrades, so really relying on this gateway-heavy unit count as his style of playing out this game for now. DRG, though, surviving, pushing back the pressure, and yeah, has to rebuild a base or so, but he's also got the top right base already set up, so he's still on 4 bases. There was a 5th base that actually got cancelled, so not that big of a deal, really, I feel like, for DRG, who suddenly supply is surging as he makes a whole chunk of roaches. This is the moment in the game where these numbers generally do increase quite rapidly. And as Lane Roach actually gets a little bit of a jump on a few Stalkers here. This base of Hero, this 4th not set up yet, so you can't super battery on this high ground, which is going to take away some of your defensive capabilities you usually rely on. DRG just going to back it up. I mean, DRG is still missing a lot of the stuff he's building into. DRG is still trying to head into Baneling speed, melee upgrade. You know, these things are not ready. This Hero is still also with his own upgrades, Charge +2, +1, Robo Bay, all these things are going to be fantastic additions as well. So both players are really on the verge of better armies, so clashing right now doesn't really benefit either. You know, both players are kind of okay if it goes on a little further. Things wrap around and Immortal will go down. He's just going to come down that right-hand side. So that's going to go in. Queen taking some damage for just a few more moments as well. So that's going to come around. It's going to go for the hatch. Just going to be seeing the Prism loading back up. Overlord's hanging out overhead. Just going to be seeing a Dark Shrine coming through. Colossus coming in. Few Colossus shots going off on a few of these Lings. Stalker's going to blink across, get in front of these Banelings and these Roaches. Bane's going to come through. A bunch of probes going down. Again, 15 probes already dropping. DRG with a pretty good jump on this army of Hero. Hero not looking too hot at the moment. A lot of probes lost, and the Hero's army is going to at least blink back and get a bit more damage done, but DRG's rebuild is already happening. That's already coming through here. Roaches going to go after these few Stalkers. He's going to be seeing that Colossus going to get jumped on as well. Some more tech of Hero is disappearing. I feel like Hero is kind of in a very bad spot here. He's really not recovering on the tail, like on the back end of this fight. He's not getting to this point where it's like, oh yeah, you know, all of a sudden I've got enough stuff. You know, I dealt with one army, now I can rebuild. But this just ain't happening for him at all. He's getting into a very nasty little position. Things are not looking so hot right now for Hero, guys. DRG is max. He's going to keep units running around the map absolutely everywhere. He is just going to keep this rumbling. See what else we can still get done. There's Roaches, Banelings gathering up. Just going to be seeing our Archons chasing down some Zerglings here. Hero might have a chance to rebuild a little bit, but I love what DRG is doing. Just a few units here, a few units there. Hero's even going to go on creep. Okay, I can't agree with this. I feel like Hero's just got to try and find miraculous defense. Being aggressive seems like an absolute guaranteed way to not do well at all. The Disruptor shot is decent, but how do you expect this army to ever have a chance on creep against a Zerg force? There's just no world. There's just no way. DRG is going to absolutely wipe the floor with this, and then it should just be a simple attack across the map, because now Hero doesn't have an army any longer. It is gone. Done, dusted. That's okay. That's one nice Disruptor shot once again. The Disruptor's going to die on the follow-up, though. As they do just about save a Stalker there as well somehow. And he's still coming through. Roach is coming about. Stalker's going to get a little bit surrounded. A couple more. Zealot's coming by. Just going to be seeing a few more probes dropping in this army of DRG is too much! As DRG nods his way through Hero,